Sometimes lightning strikes twice. Sometimes a place becomes a wound that never heals. First, a mother disappears. Then her daughter vanishes from the same location, and all that's left is an unanswered note, a trail gone cold, and decades of silence. This is the haunting case of Annette Sagers. Annette was 12 years old in 1987. She lived with her stepfather James Sagers in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. She was described as quiet, thoughtful, and mature for her age. She had long dark hair, a round face, and an innocence that made what happened even more devastating. A year earlier, her mother, Mary Sagers, had vanished. Mary had been employed at a local psychiatric hospital. On October 15, 1986, she left the family's rural home on Highway 17A to walk to work. She never arrived. Her route took her past wooded areas and open land. She walked the same way many times before, but that morning something went wrong. Despite search efforts, Mary was never found. No clothing, no belongings, no body and no witnesses ever came forward. Authorities treated the case as a disappearance with possible foul play, but there were no concrete leads. Then exactly 1 year later, almost to the day, her daughter Annette also vanished. On October 4, 1987, Annette waited at the same spot where her mother had last been seen, near the edge of their property where she normally caught the school bus. But this time, she wasn't there when the bus arrived. Her stepfather told police she had gone out to wait like she always did. But when the driver came by, Annette was nowhere in sight. The only thing left behind was a note pinned to a tree by the bus stop. It read, "Dad, Mama came back. Give the boys a hug." That note changed everything. Authorities at first considered the possibility that Mary had returned, that she had somehow come back and taken her daughter with her. But the handwriting was never verified. Some believed it could have been Annette's own writing, others thought it could have been forged, and most haunting of all, there was no proof that Mary was alive. Police launched a full investigation. Search teams scoured the woods, used dogs, and interviewed neighbours and schoolmates. Nothing turned up. No trail, no sighting, no explanation. Once again, a member of the Sagers family had vanished into thin air from the same location 1 year apart. For years, investigators explored every theory. One was that Mary had been abducted in 1986, possibly by someone she knew. If she had escaped or been released, could she have returned for her daughter? Another theory suggested that Annette had been lured away by someone, pretending to be her mother. Maybe someone familiar with the original case. Maybe even the person who had taken Mary. But nothing ever came of those leads. The FBI got involved, and Annette's face appeared on posters and missing child bulletins. Her case received national attention for a brief time, but as the months passed, the story faded. Her stepfather was questioned extensively, but no evidence ever linked him to either disappearance. And while suspicion hovered, there was no physical proof, no confession, and no breakthrough. Over the years, possible sightings of Annette were reported in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, but none could be verified. The note remained the only clue. A few words written by a hand that's never been confirmed, found at the place where two people had disappeared. To this day, both Mary and Annette Sagers are still missing. It's rare for a disappearance to remain unsolved for decades. It's even rarer when two people from the same family vanish from the same spot almost exactly 1 year apart. And yet no bodies were ever found, no ransom was ever demanded, no contact was ever made. and no trace was ever uncovered. Just silence. The story of Mary and Annette has haunted the Moncks Corner community for years. Generations of officers have revisited the case, hoping new technology or tips might reveal something that was missed. DNA has been submitted to national databases. The National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children continues to profile Annette's case. Age progression photos have been developed, but so far there has been no match. Some believe Mary was killed in 1986 and that the 1987 note was a trick used to lure Annette away. Others believe both may still be alive, living under different names, perhaps part of a plan to escape a life they feared. But even that theory leaves too many unanswered questions. If it was a plan, why hasn't there been a single confirmed sighting in more than 30 years? If it was foul play, how could two people disappear without a single witness or clue? Why was the note left in such a visible place? And who really wrote it? And most tragically, what happened to that 12-year-old girl who was just trying to get to school? Annette Sagers has brown eyes, brown hair, and stood 5 feet tall. She was last seen on the morning of October 4, 1987. She was wearing a floral shirt, dark pants and white sneakers. Her mother Mary was 34 when she vanished. She had brown hair and wore glasses. If you have any information about the disappearance of Annette and Mary Sagers, contact the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office or the FBI. Because the trail may be cold, but the pain never left. And someone, somewhere, still remembers what happened that morning in South Carolina.